Welcome back to the NFL Draft Bible Players Spotlight Show. I am your host, Chris Shanafelt, bringing you the names that you need to know first since 2002. Visit NFLDraftBible.com, and we are now joined by the defensive back out of Texas A&M Commerce, formerly of Baylor. He's Travon Blanchard. Trayvon, we really appreciate you taking some time to chat this evening. How's everything going, man?
Thank you for having me. Everything's going real good. Just finished up with Pro Day and about to continue training until draft day.
Absolutely, and the pleasure is all ours to have you on. We've been looking forward to chatting with you for a little while now. Happy to finally be able to do that. And Trayvon,
yes,
you mentioned your Pro Day. You recently wrapped up that Pro Day, and we see you came in at 6'1.5", 209 pounds. You bench pressed 225 pounds 15 times. You had a 9-foot 9-inch broad jump, 34-inch vertical, and unfortunately you pulled your hammy while running your 40. But even with that, you still ran a 4.65. Talk about what that day was like for you, what it was like to finally get this out of the way, something you've been training for months now, and how you ultimately feel you performed.
Well, yes, like you were saying, you spend so much time, months at a time. I began training on the 1st of January, so you spend 2 to 3 months, almost 4 months preparing for this one day. And like I said, it's really a blessing. It's really a dream come true. I've been playing football since I was 6 years old, and Pro Day is the day that you just imagine, that you've always thought about, you've always anticipated growing up, knowing that you want to play on a professional level. So, of course, you always anticipate Pro Day coming up, and it's a blessing. It's a blessing for my family to be able to experience it with me, for my parents and all of my supporters from my team to come there. And we had a pretty big turnout when it came to NFL teams. So it's really a blessing. You got to take it all in, and also know that it's a business day. You've been preparing months at a time for these events, so nothing's going to be a surprise. This is everything that you worked for.
No doubt about it, and you weren't the only name there. You guys had quite a few guys performing in front of the scouts at that Texas A&M Commerce Pro Day, including quarterback Luis Perez.
Yes, sir.
So a lot of eyes on these Commerce Lions coming out this year. Where were you training at for your Pro Day? I mean, you mentioned it. Once the season's over with, as weird as it sounds, I mean, football kind of takes a back burner, and you kind of turn into or try to turn into a track star getting ready for your Pro Day. Who helped you get ready for your Pro Day?
During this training period, I was in a small city called Duluth, Georgia. I was training with Chip Smith. He's really the best at what he does. He's prepared me. This is the heaviest I've been in all 4 years, and in my 1 year at Commerce, it's the heaviest I've been. I feel very explosive. I feel very fast. Chip Smith, he helps you to get bigger, stronger, and he also helps you with injury prevention. It's not like we're just going in there lifting and tearing down our bodies. That's what we're doing, but we also take very good care of us. We had access to the pool. We had foam rollers everywhere. We can massage if you have to go somewhere. So Chip Smith, he's really the best at what he does. I really wouldn't be the athlete that I am right now without Chip Smith.
Yeah, and he's been doing it for many, many years. Like you said,
yes,
I mean, he has many Pro Bowlers, All-Pro, Hall of Famers
that have
walked into those doors. So certainly, like you said, I mean, the best, certainly, if not the best, definitely one of the best. And you hear every year about guys getting ready over at Chip Smith Performance. Now, Trayvon, I introduced you as a defensive back, and that is exactly what you are. You've proven to be quite versatile, whether it's playing safety. You have some experience playing cornerback as well, even linebacker. I mean, how would you describe yourself as a football player? I mean, are you kind of a do-it-all kind of player where a team, a defense coordinator could kind of use you wherever he would like? I mean, are you kind of this ball of clay for NFL coaches looking at you right now?
Yes, sir. That's definitely a word I like to use when it comes to describing me. I like to let, of course, stats and film speak for itself. I have positive film, successful film of playing cornerback, playing safety. If the formation is into the boundary of moving right there in the box and getting a triangle key like a linebacker. I'm also have plenty of film of me blitzing off the edge, me in one-on-one man coverage with no safety help. So yeah, like you were saying, I like to be versatile. I feel like I'm a good-sized DB who you don't have to take off the field if you want to. Like I'm a sure tackler as well. You don't have to give and take coverage for tackling or give tackling for weak coverage. I feel like I'm the secret weapon, if you will, that a defensive coordinator would love to have.
You know, I said a ball of clay. I should actually say more like a Swiss Army knife. I mean, you
Yes,
have
sir.
more than
Yes,
one
sir.
specialty. You have more than one weapon, and you're able to use it. And you see it in the film, man. The film, whether it's the actual game film or highlights, I mean, you really do jump off the screen. And you know, especially, I was really intrigued seeing you at cornerback. I believe it was against Minnesota State Mankato. Again, one of the top teams in the nation as well. So, that alone was very impressive to see. And the way that you're able to, I don't know, almost manhandle these wide receivers. I mean, they try to brush you off, and I mean, there's no brushing you off. It's almost hilarious to watch. I mean, the way that you're able to kind of dominate and do so at more than one position. What would you say is your biggest strength when looking at your game? What would you say is the one of the best things or better things that you bring to the table? And what is one thing you'd like to still work on?
Well, one of my strengths, something that I definitely bring to the table, is that you're able to do so much. A lot of nickelbacks that play now, they're not undersized, but 6'1", 6'2", that frame, 209 pounds. I feel like I'm able to do so much. Like I'm able to get out there and guard a slot receiver man to man, or if I need to be on the outside and guard the outside receiver. Also, if it's a draw or run play, I feel like I'm able pretty good at making a solid tackle. So my strength is my versatility and you being able to get so much out of a long, lanky type of player as well. One of my weaknesses, I'd say, of course, I've always focused on wanting to get bigger and everything, because the tight ends, the running backs that you'll be tackling in the pros are definitely bigger and everything like that. So one of my weaknesses, which is naturally be, I guess, size. I'm weighing 209, 210 on a good day right now. So I like to be able to play around 215 if possible, depending on, of course, what position teams want me at, corner, safety, or that nickel. I feel like 215 would be a good playing size for me. So I still want to focus on getting bigger.
You know, while watching your game film, Trayvon, two players right away popped into my mind. And that's Mark Barron and Dayon Buchanan. I mean, these are guys that have both experience playing safety, and now they're traditional, almost traditional linebackers, but they certainly have the ability to still go back and play safety or really anywhere on the field. I'm not really asking you to compare yourself to anybody, but who are a few guys at the next level that you like to watch and take bits and pieces of their game and add it onto your own?
Well, I have a few favorite players or players that I definitely watch. For corner, I'd have to give it to Richard Sherman and to Jalen Ramsey. Of course, I feel like those two are the best two corners that fits my body mode and fits my style of play. So whenever I line up at corner, it's funny, I like to take on different personas. Like, I'm out there at corner, so now I feel like I'm Richard Sherman right now. If I'm right there at safety, I like to imagine a Cam Chancellor. Of course, I'm a bigger type safety. Of course, I have to come down, make solid tackles, and also I like to say that I can cover. So I like to watch Cam Chancellor. For safety, my favorite safety of all time right now is Earl Thomas. That's my favorite defense player, but whenever I'm comparing myself to someone, I compare myself to Richard Sherman or Jalen Ramsey.
Well, those two have a lot in common, especially their personality. What's your personality like on the football field? I mean, are you much of a talker if a wide receiver's getting in your face, or if you make a big hit on somebody, are you getting up and talking smack to them?
Yeah, I feel like everyone kind of talks a little trash on the field, but that all comes with confidence. I don't watch the hours of film and stay late during practice or all those reps in the weight room. I'm not doing all of those reps to step on the field and be timid or be unsure of my skills. It's not blind confidence or anything. It's confidence knowing that I've prepared, knowing that I'm ready for what's gonna come at me. So of course in competition and everything, of course, some words may be said, but it definitely wouldn't be anything that'll get a flag or anything that's dirty or anything like that. But I just feel like, of course, some type of trash talking. That's just the natural competitiveness of the game.
Absolutely, and like you said, I mean, hey, if you're not getting a flag or any type of penalties for it, I mean, hey, why not? I mean, if you could use that to get in your opponent's head, and we've seen guys like Jalen Ramsey and Richard Sherman do it in the past. I mean, they're just being themselves, and they so happen to also get in the head of opposing wide receivers or offensive players. Again, we're chatting with 2018 NFL draft prospect. He's Travon Blanchard, the defensive back, do it all, I guess you'd kind of say, defensive player
yes,
out of Texas A&M Commerce, formerly of Baylor, and again, 1 year at Texas A&M Commerce, Trayvon, and you guys go 14-1 total, and go on to win the Division II National Championship. I mean, what was this ride like? I mean, again, and this was not an easy schedule, and here you guys go 14-1. You guys have a pretty dominant run in the playoffs as well, to come up and play West Florida and walk away with the 37-27 victory. I mean, just talk about your overall experience at Commerce, what the talent level was like coming from a big-time Division I program in Baylor, what your expectations were heading in, and now looking back, you're a Division II national champ.
Yes, sir. Well, first getting to Commerce, of course, it was a little different. Of course, leaving Baylor, that's the school that I still love to this day. That's the school that I committed to. I committed to the coaches, to the players, to the fans there, and I still love them to death. To this day, I still bleed green and gold, if you would. Wish them the best of luck from here on out. Like I'm a Baylor Bear for life. Getting to A&M Commerce, it was a crazy experience. I got there probably about 5 or 6 days before the first game, and just from the first day, it was pretty much, of course, you want to gain the teammates, gain the coach's trust, but of course, I'm not trying to come there and look like this hot shot guy or anything like that. So it takes a little while, a few days, of course, to find, because I'm a talkative person on the field. I communicate to everybody. If I know the call, I'm out there speaking to everybody. So of course you have to learn everyone's names. You have to learn how things go and everything like that. So the first few days, everyone treated me like a brother. Like I've been going there for years. Like we've just known each other for life. Like everybody, from the coaches to the players, everybody treated me like a brother. And can't thank them enough for that. The difference between D1 and D2 football is really depth. Every team that we play, every team, they have a player or two players that can go somewhere and play at a D1 level. The only difference is whenever they go to the bench now, instead of having 3 or 4, like now there's only like 1 or 2. That's the absolute only difference. Teams are still good. They're still scholarship athletes. They're still playing for something, playing for their parents, playing for their kids or something, anything. Like everyone, they still have the same motivation to win and be the best. So that was really the only difference between D1 and D2. And just looking back at this year was very special. We had the best quarterback to come through school program. We had some of the best coaches. one of the best defenses that program's had. So this year was very special. We came together each and every day. We got to know each other. We're all very close on and off the field. And each Saturday, it just comes down to being the best team. It doesn't matter who's the best team in the state, who gets the better rankings on Saturday night. Whenever you lace up the cleats, you just have to be the best team that day. And Saturday in and out throughout the playoffs and everywhere, we were able to be the best team, to win for that day. And like I said, that's something that's going to be there forever, for the rest of our life. 2017, we're national champs. That's something that we're going to look back on years from now, and something we won't ever forget.
And I got to think it's even sweeter to finish your collegiate career by winning the big dance and winning the national championship there at Commerce. Now, Trayvon, you've obviously played a lot of talent, whether it was there at Commerce at the Division II level or at Baylor in the Big 12. And I believe I've seen a tweet floating around just a couple days ago that you're the only player in this year's draft that has picked off Pat Mahomes, the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, twice. So there's no doubt about it that you've played a lot of talent over the last handful of years at the collegiate level. If I were to ask you to narrow it down to just one or two players, who would you say is the best player that you've lined up against? Who would you say is the player that has given you the biggest challenge over the years?
Well, it's crazy because of course in the Big 12 you're going against a high octane offense week after week. But during the era that I was at Baylor, of course, some of the best receivers that I've went against, thank goodness, were on my team. Receivers like K.D. Cannon, Corey Coleman. I think Corey Coleman was just the most naturally gifted receiver I've ever gone against my entire life. And the best thing about it, he's on my team. So 4 or 5 days out of the week, I get to guard him. So now whenever I'm stepping out guarding any other receiver, I've guarded Corey this entire week. So my confidence is skyrocketed. If I could limit Corey, if I could slow down Corey, then I feel like this receiver that I'm guarding right now is about to be completely shut down. But one of the best players I'd have to say, of course, is Baker Mayfield. He's one tough competitor. He's a winner. At the end of the day, people might not like his trash talk. I love it. That's someone that you'd love to have on your team and everything like that. And I can say at the end of the day, he knows how to win. He knows how to compete and he knows how to win. That's the best all-around player. The best receiver besides Corey Coleman would definitely be Sterling Shepard. He's with the Giants right now, but he played at OU, Oklahoma University. And he was definitely the best receiver outside of Baylor that I've guarded, for sure.
All right. You gave us I love the way you answered that. I mean, you gave us a couple of your teammates in K.D. Cannon and Corey Coleman, and then you gave us a couple opponents as well in a quarterback and receiver in Baker Mayfield and Shepard. And, just a couple more questions for you, Trayvon. Really do appreciate your time. It's been a lot of fun chatting with you. Now, obviously, as you mentioned a couple of your former teammates from Baylor that have gone on and spent some years in the NFL, specifically Corey Coleman. I believe he's entering year 3 in the NFL with the Cleveland Browns. Have you been able to keep in touch with any of your former Baylor teammates, and have they given you any advice for you as to kind of what to look out for as now you embark the journey of the NFL?
Yes. I acknowledge, of course, we all have our lives. They're trying to, of course, keep their spot in the league, and I'm trying to get where they are. But every now and then, when I'm able to ask questions, I just ask like, what's the difference? What is it like? Any secrets? Of course, what's the secret to longevity? To being in there, getting to the second contract, getting to the years in the NFL. Of course. At that league, everyone's talented, everyone's fast, everyone can catch and everything. So there's something that sets players apart and everything like that. And of course, the sooner I'm able to find that out, that'll be the better.
Now, at your pro day, and you don't need to go into specifics if you don't want to, Trayvon, but at your pro day, About how many teams do you think you met with, and what was the overall feedback you got from teams? I mean, how do you think they're viewing you at the next level? What type of position or plays can you be seen in just about 6-7 months next year in the NFL?
A lot of times they've looked at me as the DB. Of course, both of them are going back and forth between corner and safety. I played nickelbacks for years, 4 years at Baylor. I came to Commerce and played nickel and also moved to corner and everything like that. So, I mean, the tape speaks for itself. I feel like, of course, I can go to anywhere and be put in the nickel back position and be able to definitely excel at that position. That's really like second-hand nature. Anything from corners to safety. Of course, I'm expecting a special team somewhere, gunner or anything. It sounds cliche, but really any place they want me at, any place I can play on the field. We talked about it earlier. I feel pretty versatile. If they want to move me to the outside linebacker, if I need to gain weight, if they want to move me to corner and have a press corner, if they want to have me at safety. Really, I feel comfortable enough to be able to go over there and adjust and also excel to do good at any position that they put me at.
You know, they could ask you to put on another 80, 90 pounds and play defensive line, and I'm sure you'll have success there. I mean, just watching the tape and the effort that you give on every play, play in and play out, I mean, it really is amazing. Now, beginning with the Baylor Bears and now ending as a national champion with the Texas A&M Commerce Lions, Trayvon, how would you describe your overall college football experience?
My college football experience, I would say it's been a blessing. It's had its fun years whenever I was at Baylor. The coaches, the team that I committed to, I love them to death. I wouldn't change a thing. I never regret going to Baylor or anything like that. Coming to Commerce, wouldn't change a thing. Everything doesn't turn out the way we want, but we have to play with the cards that we're dealt. We have to continue. Life will go on. Life moves forward. So moving on to Texas A&M, of course, wasn't an easy thing, but I can definitely say it's something I don't regret. The coaches, I love them. The players, I love them. Like we said, we're able to win a national championship, able to make history. That's something that, being honest, I probably wouldn't have happened with it if I was at Baylor this past year. So, like I said, it's all a blessing. There's other places you can be. You're playing. You're in college. You're playing the sport that you love. You have a chance to further that career by going pros. Your family's able to fly all over the U.S. to come watch you play football. Like it's a blessing. Not that many people can say that they're doing that. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
Yeah, and to play football in the state of Texas where, I don't know if it's any more big time than it is there in the state of Texas. You can talk about high school football, college football, and now, of course, pro football. And again, I mean, you picked up right where you left off at Commerce. Your one and only year there, 45 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, 5 pass breakups, an interception, 2 forced fumbles, as well as a blocked kick in there as well. And, of course, once again, you left as a national champion. Final question for you, and that is, let's say we have all 32 NFL general managers listening to this very interview. Why should they want the defensive back Travon Blanchard out of Texas A&M Commerce a part of their team?
Well, like I said, like we said this entire interview, I feel like I'm versatile. I feel like I can really do it all. I really feel like I'm the right defense coordinator's like his dream. Of course, you always want a player that can do it all, that you don't have to substitute. If you want to put him on the slot, I can play that. I can erase the tight end. I can erase the running back. I can blitz off the edge. I can make tackles. I have a sense of urgency. At one point in time, I didn't think I would have played football ever again, and I got a second chance, and I appreciate every shot that I get, every opportunity that I have. I appreciate it to the fullest. They're going to have a hard worker. They're going to have someone that's practicing, that's playing with a sense of urgency. and like my high school career, like my college career can show, I'm a winner. I know how to win. I've been in the biggest of situations. I've been in overtimes. I've been in playoff football where it's win or go home. I have success with film of me being in the moment. And I'm a strong believer that the eye in the sky doesn't lie. And like I said, they're just going to get a hard worker, someone who's humble, someone who wants to just come there and be the best. I have an internal will to be the best player. So any team that picks me up, I want to come there. I want to put my head down and go to work and help to make the program better.
Well, you're less than a week removed from your pro day at Commerce, and now we are less than 3 weeks away from the 2018 NFL Draft. I'm sure you're very excited just to get back to football drills and not learning how to be a intense track star. But Trayvon, really do appreciate you taking some time to chat this evening. Really wishing you all the best. Congratulations on what was a very successful collegiate career. Congratulations on going out as a national champion, and here's to even more success at the next level, man.
I appreciate you. God bless you. Go Lions and Sickle Bears. Have a blessed night.